There we go. Hello, I am not going to do a live, but because I do have to pause the video to let this dry, even though I am going to blow dry it a little bit. But I got this. It's really cute. It's a little hanging one, and I got this from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use our Chalk Couture ink in silver to paint this. I've used the chalkboard paste or chalkboard paint before to paint some things, but I like using our inks to paint over wood or even canvas sometimes. But this time I'm going to do the ink in silver. And make a huge mess, of course, as I'm trying to do it pretty quickly so that it can dry and I can start inking it, or paste. I'm going to use the paste actually on it because our paste comes in a lot more different colors than our ink. But I just wanted to show you guys how you can do it. I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick while I finish this so you don't have to watch the whole thing, and then once I'm done I'll come back and show you to blow dry. Alright, so if you've watched any of my other tutorials before, our ink is semi-permanent until you heat set it. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set it with maybe the blow dryer if I can find it. There it is. Check it and see. It's still not completely dry, so you're just going to finish heating setting it. have a couple of bumps in here. I'm just going to kind of smooth them out because they're not going to dry without being smoothed. And then, like, when I touched it with my fingers, I just use a Lysol wipe and just wipe my hands off. For the most part, it gets them pretty clean. Alright, I'm going to pause this again while I finish. Alright, this is all dry, and since I use one of my squeegees to paint it, I'm just going to go ahead and use my Lysol wipe and clean it off. A blow dryer is great for things like plastic that you can't put in the oven, anything that you ink that is like glass. You still need to make sure that you can actually put it in the oven. And what you do is you put the, whatever it is, the glass or a plate or whatever, you put it in a cold oven, and then you set it to like 375 and bake it. I'm pretty sure it's 2 hours. So, and then you turn the oven off. Don't take it out of the oven. Let it cool, and then you can take it out of the oven, and it'll be heat set. So I use the blow dryer for this, and I used the blow dryer for my cute little joy ornament that I did. It has some little snow inside and a little snowman. I use the blow dryer for that. Like t-shirts, any other kind of fabric, I use my my iron. So, alright, since this is already dry, I'm going to use the Let It Snow transfer. And I've not used this yet, so I'm going to go ahead and peel it off the backing. And as I've said before, make sure you save your backing, because that's what you're going to put it back onto. And then I'm just going to, I don't have a towel, but I'm going to put it on my jeans and get it what's called fuzzed a couple times, because otherwise it may stick to your surface, especially if it's not a chalk couture surface. All the chalk couture surfaces are already prepped for you to go ahead and start using your paste on, so you don't have to worry about fuzzing them. I do anyway, just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to ruin my transfer. I don't want it to stick to anything. So I'm going to try to get this to where it's, oop, get this over just a smidge. And then you just press it down, make sure there's no air bubbles, make sure it's sticking to your surface that you're using. And sometimes there may be air bubbles, but if they're down here, that's fine, just as long as they're not on the silk part that you're going to be chalking. I'm trying to figure out where I have some of my pastes. There we go. All right, I'm going to use the Morning Sky. You can actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I think I'm going to use Peacock. Yeah, I'm going to use Peacock real quick to where's my multi-tool? The multi-tool is good for stirring your paste or your ink if it's been sitting a little while. Sometimes you'll get like oils on top, but you want to make sure it's like a yogurt consistency. So I'm just going to stir it a little bit, and then you can just put it back into the thing once you get all of it out. And I'm going to place it. I'm trying to make sure I don't get it on anything. Place it right there, and I'm just going to take my squeegee. And I just use the small squeegee, and I cut it in half because that way if I want to, I can get into smaller transfers. Like this one would be fine because it's a larger transfer. So you could use a full squeegee for this, but I've cut mine all in half just because it's easier that way for me. And you're just, okay, oops, I forgot to hit that. Did I? Oh, okay, never mind. Thought I wasn't taping. Get the bottom down here. And then you just kind of use your squeegee, and then anything that's extra you can put back into your container. All right, that one's done. I'll close this up so it doesn't dry, and then you're just going to gently peel from the side, not from the corner. And I peeled a little bit of the silver, but it doesn't look too bad. So it says let it snow, and I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute. That way I can show you all how how to clean it with just a Lysol wipe. Oh, that one's getting dry. Because a lot of the times, I'm gonna put it this way. A lot of the times, you may not have a faucet right there. I'm gonna clean this off real quick from that paste and the ink that's on here. Get a surface that's damp because you don't want it to stick to your table or whatever. That's why they usually tell you to use water. But with the darker pigments, I've noticed they tend to stain, which isn't a big deal as long as, you know, you're getting the silk, the clear part here, as long as you're getting that clean. If your transfer is a little blue, because I've noticed with the darker colors that they do tend to stick. And so I'm just taking my Lysol wipe and just kind of scrubbing around to get it kind of off. And since my Lysol wipe's already dirty, I'm just gonna kind of use this to kind of spread it around still, and then I'll use a clean one to wipe it off. I just want to get the majority of it that's starting to dry. Alright, so I'm going to take a new Lysol wipe. Pretty well. Wipe off the front. And then I'm going to pull this up. And you see how it got onto my table. I'm going to wipe that up. Flip it over. And then I did peel a little bit of the silver off, so I'm going to try to get that. Make sure I get the silk part real good, because you don't want that to stain. And I have noticed, unfortunately, with the silver, the gold, and the copper inks, that they do tend to stick some because they're glittery. But like I said, as long as it's not on your see-through transfer part, you're fine. But you do want to try to get off as much as you can on the back, because otherwise it may start losing its sticky. And you definitely don't want that, because our transfers are reusable, so you want to be able to use them over and over again. I'm going to finish wiping that side in a minute, but first I want to kind of clean that off. Don't mind my chalk paint all over my table. I kind of made a mess with it when I was making I painted a canvas with the chalkboard paint. So it kind of got everywhere when I was trying to paint the sides and the back and everything, because I made a mishap on one of my canvases, so I wanted to still be able to use it and not just have to throw it away. So I ended up just painting it with the chalkboard paint, and that looks pretty nice. All right. I'm gonna flip it over one more time. Oop. And be careful, because sometimes they want to stick to themselves. All right, and then the other thing, you also, like I said, you're going to save this backing, but you want to make sure that shiny side is what you put it on. Once you let, I'm trying to find space. Once you let this dry, you're going to put it upside down and let it dry. I'm just going to put it back here out of our way so it can dry while I finish this. I'm going to try to find a snowflake. I know I have a couple of them. It's just my daughter's been in here playing with my stuff, so I have no clue where everything is. Okay. And then, like with some things, I just cut them. They come in like that full sheet. But I cut them and I just keep them in their little baggie. Some of mine, my poor little baggie ripped, so I had to put them in a Ziploc bag, which is fine too. And it keeps them. I guess we're gonna use it's the holiday icons. We're gonna use a mittens, and I'm gonna use, well, I thought I was gonna, oh wait, there it is. And I'm gonna use a snowflake, so. But there's a lot of different ones that come with this. I think tomorrow night, if I have time, I have a Christmas tree that's like this, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and paint it ahead of time, a green. That way it's dry and all that, so when we do this, it doesn't take forever. So I might do it on live, but it comes with a little present. There's a, oh, this present is the layered one. So you have the present, and then you have the top that goes onto it. This comes with a dove, bells, peace, joy, ho, 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 snowflake, mittens, and I think the only other one is candy canes. So I'm going to use these mittens. And like I said before, just stick it to your clothing, or if you have a towel or something near, stick it to that to fuzz it a couple times. I'm going to clean this up while I'm fuzzing. That way it doesn't stick to whatever surface you're using, unless, you know, like I said, if it's a Couture surface, they're already prepped. But I know I just had a customer that was trying to buy the wax, and the wax is out of stock, which is what you would use to prep your surface. So I told her to just go ahead and just make sure to fuzz the transfer really, really good if you're using something that is not a Couture surface. Sorry, I'm trying to clean stuff up real quick. Try to kind of clean as I go, because sometimes the stuff, if you let it sit too long, it's a little hard to get off. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to wipe some of this off. Alright. I'll finish that one when I get a new wipe. Alright, so I'm probably going to put my little mittens right up here. And I'm going to do this one in... This one's the Midnight Sky, but... oh, no, wait, that's not the right one. It's the teal. What is it? Well, I can't find mine, so sometimes I'll make up these little sample pastes. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my sample paste. This is the Ocean Mist. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to move this over so you can see. So my transfer's on there. I'm just going to use my multi-tool and pull this down. And across because you want it smooth. Alright. Put my lid back on, and we are going to peel this sideways. Yeah, you definitely need to let your surface dry a little bit longer because that didn't like me. And then I'm going to come down here, and this one has been used, but I'm still going to try to fuzz that anyway. And I'm going to put a little white snowflake. And this one I'm going to use my squeegee since it's a bigger jar than that little teeny one. That little teeny one, my squeegee would have been a little difficult to get into. That's why usually if you don't have a multi-tool, or if I send you like the sample paste and stuff, I usually send this little like spatula kind of looking thing with it. Alright, I'm just going to put that back in my jar. Peel this off very gently, and we have a snowflake. So there is my cute little Let It Snow creation. If you can see it a little bit closer, there's the snowflake, and there's the mittens. And like I said, tomorrow night I will probably I'm gonna go ahead and paint the Christmas tree, but I'll go ahead and do a Christmas tree tomorrow evening. Y'all have a good night.